Hello, forever friends and family. I would like to welcome everybody to our webinar number 10, when we read, study, and hopefully will implement the knowledge from this wonderful book. The cover of this book in front of you on the screen. So I would like to ask my friend and partner, Isaac Gelbinovich, and he just disappears from the screen for some reason. Isaac, hello. Zoya, please read without translation cover of the book. Unmute your microphone and please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Transforming anxiety. The HeartMath solution for overcoming fear and worry and creating serenity. The perfect antidote to anxiety. Feelings of anxiety can sap your energy, joy, and vitality. But now, the scientists at the Institute of HeartMath have adapted their revolutionary techniques into a fast and simple program that you can use to break free from anxiety once and for all. Shall I translate? At the core of the HeartMath...
Yes, please translate, Zoya, please. I'm sorry, please go ahead.
Okay. Прекрасное средство от чувства тревоги и страха. Чувства тревоги могут забирать вашу энергию, радость и жизненную энергию. Но в настоящее время ученые Института математики сердца ввели свои революционные методы в быструю, простую программу, которую вы можете использовать, чтобы освободиться от чувства страха и тревоги раз и навсегда. At the core of the method, of the HeartMath method, is the idea that our thoughts and emotions affect our heart rhythms. By focusing on positive feelings such as appreciation, care, or compassion, you can create coherence in these rhythms with amazing results. Using the HeartMath method, you'll learn to engage your heart to bring your emotions, body, and mind into balance. Relief from anxiety, optimal health, and high performance all day long will follow. В основе метода Института математики сердца лежит идея, что наши мысли и эмоции влияют на сердечные ритмы. Сфокусировавшись на положительных чувствах, таких как признательность, забота или сочувствие, вы можете создать согласованность в этих ритмах и иметь замечательные результаты в этом. Используя метод математики сердца, вы научитесь использовать сердце, чтобы привести эмоции и тело, и разум в баланс. И после этого последует облегчение от чувства тревоги и страха, хорошее здоровье и высокая производительность в течение целого дня. A powerful guide to using positive emotions and loving kindness to reduce anxiety in its myriad forms. Drawing on science and common sense, the HeartMath tools will be helpful to anyone when practiced as taught in the straightforward and easy-to-read book. Эта книга является мощным руководством по использованию позитивных эмоций, любви, доброты, чтобы уменьшить чувство тревоги в ее многочисленных формах. Привлекая науку и здравый смысл, средства метода математики сердца будут полезны любому, кто практикует его. Этому обучает эта книга, очень легкая и простая в прочтении.
Thank you, Zoe. Let me switch the screen and we will continue. Isaac, let me know if you're ready.
Good evening, I am.
Thank you. Hold on for a second, please. Okay, last time we stopped read at the common causes of overwhelm. Isaac, please start to read from this section, please.
Common causes of overwhelm. The next step in transforming overwhelm is to identify the causes of your overwhelm so you know clearly when to use the tools. Project identity. One of the chief contributors to overwhelm is project identity. You invest mental energy in a project, and maybe without realizing it, a lot of emotional energy too. All that energy going into one project can create tunnel vision, blocking out other important things in your life. It's a rare person who has never suffered from project identity. A key symptom is when you find yourself feeling irritated, anxious, or frustrated if anything or anyone interferes with the project you're focused on. This can occur especially when you're up against the wall with deadlines. Many people believe they have to push everyone away to press on. If this happens regularly, then project and relationship quality can suffer. Overwhelm can also be triggered when you get stepped in a project that is taking longer than you thought it would. The mind sees too many other things to do that seem important. This creates time pressure, overload, and eventually overwhelm. You know, it's tipped into overwhelm if you have undercurrents of negative self-talk or negative projections about others. It's important to see what's driving your project identity. Holly's job responsibilities had increased tremendously. When a large and detailed project with a critical timetable was put on her plate, she knew it was going to take a concentrated effort to keep her balance. Then another huge project was loaded on right on top of the first one. Holly was overwhelmed. I felt intense anxiety mounting inside me, she said. I felt I was going to explode, not from anger, but from being pumped with stress. I thought desperately, this is only the third day into the launch, and I've got 6 more weeks. Every time someone would ask her a question, Holly felt something locking up inside. Holly decided she needed to use the cut-through technique to get to the bottom of it. After spending 10 minutes on a break with the technique, Holly realized her project identity wasn't about a sense of accomplishment, as she thought. Underneath was a running sense of being not good enough. This surprised me, says Holly. If I could juggle numerous balls in the air at once, somehow I thought this would make me a better human being. Once I began to dissolve the significance, it put things in perspective. I had to admit that it just wasn't possible for one person to handle everything on my plate. In fact, it was a joke. In taking the significance out of finding humor in the situation, I was finally able to see what I could what I could let go of. If you multitask and shift focus or concepts too often, it puts a strain on the heart, brain, and body, which haven't had time to sync up. Then, if even one of two concepts shifts are accompanied by negative emotions of irritation or frustration, the body goes into stress response, releasing cortisol and other stress hormones. This can create an enormous dryness you become so used to that it feels normal. Many have forgotten how much better life could feel. To address project identity or any over identity with issues, people, or situations that cause overwhelm, practice the overwhelm tool described above using power of neutral and attitude breathing, and keep telling yourself to take the significance out. Use these tools on both the small stuff and on mental stress that preoccupy you during the day. Make note of what really is just the small stuff and what's the deeper stuff that you need to address with cut-through practice. Taylor wrote, "My using 3 p.m. mental state is too much to do, not getting things done fast enough, and feeling used up with hours to go before the workout will be over. Through practicing the cut-through technique, I got to a place where I understood it was my perception of too much to do that was causing me more drain than the number of projects. Then I realized I had to go past conceptually knowing this and use the overwhelm tools to real time to keep this perspective during the day. My projects are still abundant, but my attitude has changed. I may feel a little tired sometimes, but in increasing ease from not putting so much significance on everything has improved both my outlook and my efficiency. I've come to see that so much of what I was putting significance on didn't really warrant it."
Isaac, please take a break. Thank you for your reading very much. And I would like to ask friend and partner Helen Osipov, please continue to read. Thank you, Isaac, again.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Isaac. Reasons that drive too much significance. The mind usually assigns too much significance for one or more of the following reasons. Overcare. I have to take care of everyone and everything because no one else will. Future projections, worst case scenario. If I don't do it all, I could lose my job. Approval needs. This is an important project that makes me important, or anyone who can handle this much responsibility is more valuable. Comparisons. Everyone else is overwhelmed, so I have to be or I won't measure up. Ambition. I've got to get it done to get what I want, or I've got to have what I want to be happy, and I'll do anything to get it. Good that gets in the way. I'm a good person to work so hard. Performance anxiety. If I don't get it right or don't do well enough, I won't be liked. Do you see yourself in any of the above examples? Write the reasons behind your overwhelm in your journal. Use them as issues in your cut-through practice. And identified performance anxiety behind her overwhelm. When her boss asked her if there was anything he needed to know, she felt a tightening in her solar plexus. Her thoughts raced. Doesn't he know I haven't had time to prepare? and she was overcome by a strong feeling of anxiety. Anne answered feebly, and he said they'd talk later. As she walked away, she told herself, just ease, breathe balance, take the significance out. Within a few moments, her attitude shifted as she realized she'd over-personalized her question. Intuitively, she knew everything was fine. He was genuinely asking the question and didn't mean to put any pressure on her. Anne remarked, "It was amazing how a river of intuitive knowing came in that transformed my performance anxiety within minutes." Telling yourself to take the significance out with genuine intent is especially powerful when you tend to be overly self-conscious or keep running over social interactions in your mind after the fact, or always wonder if you said or did the right thing. Taking significance out helps ease things back to their proper balance and proportion. Then your heart intelligence and intuition can get through. Information overload. It's easy to get overwhelmed from the continual barrage of information most people experience these days. What's overwhelming is trying to take in or make meaning out of too many things at once. The overload worsens when you are faced with too many different contexts or multiple interruptions. During information overload, the mind shuts down and you often can't remember what you were thinking a few minutes ago. People over 40 like to call this senior moments, not realizing that many in their 20s are experiencing the same thing. Information overload nearly pushed Amber over the edge. At work, I was asked to keep up with market developments via internet search engines. At first, it was fun. I stayed up half the night hooked on the net and on caffeine. After a few weeks, I was on overload but didn't stop. I was losing sleep, which affected my ability to focus. I finally went into burnt out. I could barely make it through a workday, and at night was unable to do much but heat up a prepackaged dinner in the microwave, then crawl into bed. When the mind assigns too much significance to something, it has to draw energy from your emotional reserves to sustain the importance. The more important something feels, the more energy it draws. If your mind has assigned major importance to several areas at the same time, job issue, relationship issue, financial issue, then overload can exhaust your emotional and physical energy reserves fast. Using the tools when you're in information overload and telling yourself to take the significance out can help you sort out what is essential and then let go of what's not. I'm sorry, Alex, I need to stop.
Not a problem, not a problem. I would like to ask Iris, please go ahead, continue from this page. Have you ever put a ton of energy into fun projects?
Okay, Alex.
Thank you, Iris.
Thank you, Helen. Have you ever put a ton of energy into a fun project, like planning what you're going to buy or redecorating your house? You think about it a lot, and your desire to get it done adds emotional energy to those thoughts. This can be creative at first, but then when you try to focus on something else, your mind keeps going back to the project and you can't turn it off. Excited emotional energy acts like fuel that keeps the mind going after you take your foot off the pedal. It's hard to be present for other things or focus or anything else. It's the extra emotional investment energy you put into the project that fuels the obsession. you find yourself in overwhelm. You can stop the runway momentum and come back to balance using power of neutral and the heart lock-in technique. Understand that it can take the body a while to wind down and find a new rhythm. As you rest in neutral, you can see that what's going on inside you is a mechanical process, like a computer's hard drive winding down. You slow it down as you hold to neutral and let the runway mental and emotional energy wind down. You don't have to feel anxious that it's controlling you for long. Use the heart lock in then to help smooth out your emotional energy and rebuild your energy reserves. Stimulation overload. Many adults and children stay on stimulation overload. They move from stimulation to stimulation, coffee, food, shopping, the internet, movies, TV, computer games, and so forth. Advertisers keep raising the ante to keep you hooked on stimulation. There's so many things to do and buy. If it's not new or different, it's boring. You get intuitive signals from the heart to chill or slow down. But when you're on the fast track, your mind can disregard what your heart intuition is trying to say. Heart rhythm coherence will help you recoup your energy between periods of intense self-stimulation. Use the overwhelmed tools to take a break from over-investing emotional energy or from stimulation overload. Use the heart lock-in techniques to rebalance your energies and listen to your heart. Opening up a new room. When you're caught in overwhelm, it's like being in a room that's locked. All you can imagine is more of the same, but shifting to heart rhythm, coherence, and heart alignment opens up a new room. Debbie, one of the authors of this book, explains how this works. When I get overwhelmed, my mind gets in a box. I can only see what I have to do that can't be undone unless I rush. Then I get frustrated if other people interrupt or don't do what I expect. I've learned time and again that rushing or getting frustrated are my signals to use power of neutral and attitude. Breathing until I feel detached from my project and to-do list. I use the tools until I can really let it all go for a few minutes. Sometimes I have to sincerely ask myself, what would I do differently if I were to die tomorrow? That will take in perspective fast. Once I find heart alignment, it opens up a new room of possibilities. It's like the clouds clear and the sun comes out. I see from a helicopter level instead of a freeway rush hour bottleneck. Shifting to the heart releases a magic. Something pops out of nowhere, revealing that a task doesn't need to be done and can be put off for some time, or people appear who are able and willing to help. I get a different view of people and see what they are doing the best they can. Priorities can get done more easily. I've experienced this shift into the new room so many times. Yet at times, I still get pulled back into the overwhelmed trap. Then I remember what I did before to find clear air again. It's worth to go through it again and keep using these tools to prove this to myself. The tools take you a place deeper than thinking positive or time management. I tried all that. It finally took a plain old letting go and realigning it all from my heart instead of my mind to transform my old feelings of overwhelm. It makes a huge difference. Activating your creative power. Heart alignment is what unleashes creativity to find non-linear ways through life's mazes. You operate in a multifunctional way that is effective and in a flow. Remember, creativity isn't found in just art, music, or writing a great report. It's especially about dealing with life challenges that seem to have no solutions. You can learn to prevent or manage overwhelm before the world tilts out of control. Starting your day with the heart locked-in technique and using it before bed, along with practicing the overwhelm tools during the day, will help you keep a balanced perspective. Even in a chaotic society, it's possible for you to manage your emotional energy and stay empowered through heart alignment. The choice is yours. Chapter 8, Getting Relief from Anxiety Disorders. We gain strength and courage and confidence by each experiencing in which we really stop to look fear in the face. We must do that which we think we cannot. Eleanor Roosevelt. Underneath a lot of anxiety disorders are resistant or stuck feelings. Sometimes they create a pain, a burning sensation, or a feeling of blockage in the area of the heart. The mind's tendency is to chew on resistant feelings, trying to figure them out. When the mind can't, it creates angst. Millions today are suffering with this type of angst. Experts have a name for ongoing anxiety that occurs more days than not over a period of 6 months. As we mentioned in the introduction, it's called Generalized Anxiety Disorder, or GAD. It is the most common of the anxiety disorders, which include obsessive compulsive disorder, phobia, and post-traumatic stress disorder. GAD starts with repetitive unmanaged thoughts and emotions that generate anxiety. It soon turns into a physical experience. Pain in the heart area, a racing or pounding heart, shortness of breath, muscle tension, fatigue, insomnia, irritability or inability to really relax. Having anxiety is nothing to feel bad about. You simply haven't known how to effectively deal with it. But now you can and must to improve your life. Getting relief from anxiety disorder involves taking the angst out of your reaction and treating the underlying preset pattern. Presets. Like a radio station.
Aris, thank you for your reading. Please take a break, and I would like to ask my friend and partner, Assistant Supervisor Zoe Sergey, please continue this chapter to read.
Yeah, thank you for your reading, everyone. Presets. Like radio stations that are programmed or preset to come on at the push of a button, your brain has presets that mechanically come on when something triggers them. Sometimes those triggers are your own thoughts or feelings, or a person, place, or issue. Sometimes presets just get activated and you don't know why. Examples of presets include flashbacks of traumatic experiences, obsessive thoughts, or compulsive behaviors, phobia or panic, or thoughts that come up and take control. Like, I just know I'm going to panic if I go into that elevator. Identify your presets and use cut-through worksheets and the cut-through and hot lock-in techniques to help soften a rigid pattern and see what's underneath. Gina tells how she used these two techniques to release a preset that had affected her throughout her life. My tense jaws, TMJ, caused me a lot of pain and anxiety. I'd tried many treatments, and the dentist kept telling me it was stress. In using cut through, I became aware of a preset where I told myself that I had to work hard in life to be worthy of love and attention. I spent most of the time in steps 5 and 6, dissolving the significance and sincerely asking my heart for help. I followed up the next day with a heart lock-in, and during that time, I received an intuitive picture of an event from many years earlier. With wrenching pain, I saw someone I loved and admired slipping away from me and forming a close bond with someone else. In my lock-in, I soaked this picture and this pain in the solvent of my heart and just sent it love. Gina found that continuing to soak the memory in love began to change her feelings about it. I found I was coming into a neutral feeling about it and became open to a possibility that maybe what had happened was really just right. What if it was? And what if it wasn't the result of some big misstep on my part? She began to realize that her pain came from feeling that she should have said or done more to create the closeness she'd wanted with this person. It occurred to her that perhaps after all, what had happened was really okay in the large scheme of things. Pondering this possibility, my intuition showed me the origins of this pattern. As a child, I'd adored my father, yet was shy. When I was a young teen, my father suddenly began to devote his attention to my younger brother. I felt shut out. I was hurt and shocked, then became resentful and hardened. I turned to making good grades to get the acknowledgement that I needed. Soaking these memories in her heart, Gina received another insight. Yes, my brother had gotten the attention, but he'd also gotten the heat. He carries the baggage of that now and its scars, and I carried only a little of it. I had been left alone, but peacefully so. My heart began to melt as I felt a new care and tenderness for my brother who had been on the front lines. I have a deeper respect for my brother now. I also have new respect for myself and more peace and appreciation for this journey of life I've been on. I feel better. Preoccupations. Preoccupations are mental presets that get stuck on repeat and lead to emotional brooding and a feeling of heaviness. Performance anxiety, comparing yourself to others, insecurities about what others think of you, fears that you might not get what you want or need usually lie underneath. Preoccupations drain emotional energy like a leaking faucet. And when that's used up, they start draining your nerve energy as well. That can lead to neurological misfiring and obsessive, compulsive, or addictive behaviors. Addictions give temporary relief from obsessive thoughts and feelings. The real addiction, however, is to preoccupations themselves. Preoccupations can start with just one thought followed by a feeling, then another thought, then another feeling, until you are caught in an anxiety or a fear loop. You rehearse worst case scenarios of what might happen, how someone will think of you, talk to you, treat you. Many people are aware of their anxiety-producing preoccupations and are wary of them. But they may not be sincerely tired of them yet. The kind of tired where your heart intelligence makes a statement that you must do something about the problem, and you act on it. Even if you haven't reached that point yet, you can break through emotional inertia just by looking at how much energy you lose daily to preoccupations and emotional brooding. If you're honest with yourself, the toll might make you get seriously tired of them quickly. To get relief, start by stopping the emotional investment in preoccupations. To do this, pause now and consider what anxiety preoccupations may be draining your energy. Start with thoughts and feelings that often arise when you wake up in the morning, and then scan through a typical day until you go to bed. See if you can notice any correlation between an anxiety preoccupation about someone or something and physical symptoms or behaviors you typically experience throughout a day or a week. You might also want to try this exercise tomorrow and write your preoccupations down in the journal you are keeping. Writing down your preoccupations helps get them out of your head and starts to depersonalize them. Using emotional refocusing tools like Power of Neutral when preoccupations start to take over will help stop the energy drain. Then, using emotional restructuring techniques like attitude breathing, cut through, and heart lock in will create the pattern interrupt you need to transform them. Surveys show that the tools and techniques described in this book work quickly to help people get release from anxiety. HeartMath training programs conducted in Fortune 50 corporations, including Hewlett-Packard, Cisco Systems, BP, and Unilever, governmental organizations, including NASA and the military, healthcare systems like Kaiser Permanente, and the dozens of schools have achieved very similar results. Cold survey data collected over 2 years from 1,519 individuals representing a wide variety of organizations and professionals indicated that 504 people, 33%, initially reported feeling anxious fairly often to always. In the follow-up assessments administered 1 to 2 months after they were taught the HeartMath tools, 74% of these people reported less anxiety and on average, their anxiety scores were 40% lower. Scott, a special projects manager in the multinational corporation, used the tools to address his anxiety preoccupation while his division went through drowsiness, downsizing through downsizing. Anxiety was at an all-time high and moral at an all-time low. It had been very difficult for me to maintain my perspective and poise because I was angry at the situation. Through consistently practicing power of neutral and attitude breathing, along with telling myself to take the significance out of things, I was able to neutralize my anxiety almost completely, which astonished even me. I found myself going through the workday with a sense of buoyancy and clarity, and able to make decisions with a much greater sense of self-confidence. My co-workers noticed and commented on it. I was much less affected by the cares and despondency shared by my colleagues.
Zoe, take a break. Thank you very much for your reading. We are going to finish to read this book as of today. I would like to make some announcement and subject for us to discuss. And again, thank you to all readers, Zoya, Iris, Helen, and Isaac. Announcement is very simple. Today is a very special Monday, June 6, 2022, and special Monday and special for one very, very special person, Nadia Ettinger. Today is her first Monday when she is not working completely. She officially retired, and today is her first Monday off and forever free. Congratulations, Nadia. Congratulations. I would like to wish you on my behalf and Elvira, Ada, and everybody else, we wish you success and happiness in your future journey in your life. And if somebody would like to join me, unmute your microphone and speak up.
Congratulations, Nadia. Mission accomplished. Now you can do a lot of things that you really want without having the time. You're the boss.
Congratulations, Nadichka.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it.
Freedom!
Yeah. Congratulations. Freedom as always.
Thank you so much. So wonderful to hear from you, my dear friends. And I hear your happiness for me. And really, I am just free person. I work hard like all of you for 18 years. It is great company, but I just decided myself that it's time to do something else in my life. Thank you so much.
Good for you. Good for you.
Thanks a lot, Isaac.
Nadiusha, congratulations. Welcome to the club of freelancers.
Yes.
We are freelancers now.
That's right. Thank you so much. I love all of you and wishing all of us to do something special in this particular life. Thanks a lot. I love you all.
Thanks, everybody. Congratulations, Nadia, and we wish you very, very best. Subject to discuss. I believe that in a more 2 sessions of webinar, and we will complete this book. So my question to you all, what would you like to do next? Any book suggestion, any subject to discuss, any training, what would you like to do? It's a question number 1 in the whiteboard, or would you like us to take a break for summertime, maybe make a schedule every 2 weeks webinar, maybe once a month. So think about it. It's not necessary to get the answer right now. You could call me, you could send me an email, and we will discuss it. But you understand my point, I hope, right? Again, thank you for reading. Continue to read this book, to read, to study, and implement on your own. I'll see you next Monday. Take care. Good night.